Sati out here in Singapore, and it is like 9:21 as you listen to the Night Owl podcast. So it's kind of early, uh, okay, late in the morning, kind of. And I wanted to jump on here real quick because I have been having a really great conversation, and I wanted to expound on a concept that's been kind of like nagging at the back of my mind as I had this conversation. Now, this is something I heard from Abraham Hicks like a while back, and it kind of like it clicked, and I didn't understand it fully at the time, but I'm seeing more and more example of why this is really the case. So anytime you're in a relationship, yes, we get attached, we make space, we allow someone into our lives, into our minds, into our past history, like all that hurt, trauma, all of that, right? We do an active, conscious job of letting someone in. So then when they leave or when they ghost us or when they do that lovely thing they do on WhatsApp where they just disappear forever and then come back when they feel like it, we don't get so damn affected. But it's kind of hard because here in 3D, we are caught up in the everyday life. We have so many people that write to us and message us right back immediately. We're so used to instant gratification. You know, you message someone, they message you right back. You see that they've seen it. Emails get sent out all day long, like in the blink of an eye. So why not? But it also remains to be seen that people have their own time of doing things. They have their own way of doing things. They need space for themselves. And a lot of people, I mean, you know me already, if I'm not feeling all that great, I'm going to disappear for a little while. I'm not going to put out a podcast episode unless I've got a mental handle on things because I don't want to affect the people around me. I don't want to sway them one way or another. I want you to be as objective as possible when you're looking at how to fix a situation that you're in. If you're trying to be self-aware, I want to be self-aware in order to project that understanding to you as well. So you understand, hey, I can step aside from this a little bit and look at the bare bones of the situation. That being said, yes, people have their own way of doing things. People have their own timelines. It's just like divine timing. They always tell you to be patient because it's divine timing. But when it comes to people, you want to be connected. You want to be connected because look at how many people we're connected with. You talk about, people with thousands and thousands of people following them. That's a lot of connections, yo. A lot of eyeballs on the work that you're doing. That's a lot of, comments and likes and shares and saves and whatever you want to call it, right? Because we're so connected, and I say that with, air quotation marks and stuff because that's really not a full connection, but it is a form of connection. We can talk to people from all around the world. I was listening to a live video from Vigneshwari yesterday as they were promoting Yard 3 and the episode that was coming out last night, and they had people pop up from like Australia, from Germany, from Russia, from India, from Malaysia, like people from all over the world popping up just to watch this stuff, right? We are very connected, but it's not the kind of connection that we're looking for. So when we actively make space in our lives, and I mean like our day-to-day lives, when we start rearranging things to fit someone else into our life, that is active, that is a big deal because you're making space for another person. But here's what I heard from Abraham Hicks that really kind of got me. As much as I may be active in making space for you, I still need to be whole on my own. Meaning to say that I'm allowing you into my space because you are another excuse for me to amplify my connection to source. For those of you who don't understand law of attraction, who don't really speak that language, let me explain this a little bit further, right? You usually will gravitate towards people who make you feel good about yourself, right? More good about yourself. You probably feel really great, and then somebody says, oh my God, what are you wearing? That's awesome. Like, that's fly as hell. I've never seen that before. You do you, girl, whatever. And you feel really good about those people. So then the next time you see that person, you remember that, hey, I felt really good about the last encounter. Let me go say hi and interact with them a little bit more, right? So you tend to gravitate towards people that make you feel good. Same thing with teachers in school. There are some teachers you don't like so much because they just go nag you to death about everything and you just don't feel like dealing with that noise. So you're going to hang out with the teachers that find you fun and find you or make you feel like you're a really great student or whatever. But the point being that you need some of those people that don't make you feel so great to level up to the next level. But that's another conversation for another time. Okay, back to the subject at hand. You gravitate towards people that help you amplify more of who you are. Maybe you like wearing your hair really short and you always second guess yourself about whether you should or shouldn't. And usually you know who appreciates your short hair and who doesn't. So if you're getting ready to cut your hair, you're going to go talk to them like, yo, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to cut my hair. They're like, oh my God, that's awesome. I can't wait. I might cut my hair too. And they get excited and it's amplifying this feeling of power, this feeling of like big, I take up space, I am amazing kind of feeling. And so you gravitate toward those people. When it comes to love, it starts off that way. And then it becomes a game of keeping that person with you rather than allowing them to step away and come back at their own accord, because we're all afraid that we will be left behind. We will be abandoned in some form. It's normal. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that I meet you so that you're not so far away, because I do want you to come back to me. But according to what Abraham Hicks said, all you need is an excuse for that person to be there. The excuse being that the only reason I'm with you is because you make me feel more of myself. Not to say that you're using them, but their being encourages your being, and both of you shine together. It's like plugging in electricity and suddenly you're turned on, the light is on, you're burning brightly, you are taking up space, you're shedding light, you're being more of yourself, you're turned on. Does that make sense? But that also means when you have to unplug, at some point you have to unplug or turn it off, that you still shine. You have your own shine still. It's just not quite as bright because there's not an added energy there. But it doesn't mean that you're not whole. I hope that makes sense. I need for people to understand that you need to feel great by yourself. Just because you have an added excuse to shine a little bit brighter doesn't mean that you need to become dependent on that excuse to shine bright all the time. You can't forget the fact that you still shine very brightly on your own. I think that happens to a lot of us in every relationship. When we get into a romantic relationship, we want to give and take, right? We want to sacrifice a little bit and make sure that the other person feels pretty good about themselves. We're going to hesitate a little bit before really drawing boundaries because we want the other person to remain there. But at the end of the day, you are the only person that's going to be with you during the last of your days. You can't guarantee that anyone is going to come along with you. This body, this mind is going to be with you until the very end. So you need to find other ways to make sure that you maintain that shine no matter who comes and who goes, because people come and people go. It is just the way of life. And sure, it sounds pretty easy and logical when I'm talking about it right now. But when you get to that place where you're going through a heartbreak, where you're trying to make sense of why someone decided to go, it's going to take a minute before you get back to the place where you feel like you deserve to shine again, like you even had that capability before this person came into your life. It's very difficult. I'm not minimizing that issue at all. But the bottom line is, when you are healed of all of your trauma, when you no longer get triggered by much of anything, maybe it sparks a memory, but it's not a full-on trigger because you're not suffering the pain all over again. You're not recreating the pain in any form. When you get to that place, you will understand that people come and go, yes. And sometimes you have excuses to be even more bright and energetic and gregarious and friendly. But even without those people, you will find a way to shine anyway. A lot of that has to do with learning to enjoy your own company. I love being by myself. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to worry about who's watching, who's not watching. I don't have to worry about, does it need to be censored? Does it have any bad words? I can do whatever I want. And it feels pretty damn great. If I go out, I usually go out by myself. Why? Because I don't have to check in with anybody. I don't have to ask anyone's permission to go out. I can go and come back. I usually don't drink because that means I need to be able to get home, without any nonsense happening. And I feel good about that. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of grace to get used to enjoying your own company. It takes a lot of understanding and healing to get to a place where you really truly understand that you are infinite. And when people come along and help you feel more of that infiniteness, it is a plus. But that is not guaranteed forever, and that they will come and they will go. Just like feelings come and go. But you will remain. Whether they come or go does not change the fact that you are still infinite. It doesn't change the fact that you still have all of this experience and all of these skills and all of this knowledge and wisdom within you. It doesn't change any of that. It doesn't take from that. Actually, it adds to it. But we don't see it that way. We have been trained to see loss from the beginning. All those, can you find the mistake pictures? What is wrong with this sentence? What's missing from this assignment? Any of those things. We're always taught to see the lack. We're not taught to see everything else that still remains. The sun still shines. The moon still shines. It waxes and wanes as it always does. The tides come in and out always. There are still birds around for now. I hope there's still birds around for a while. Insects, plant life, all of that. You remain. Your worth does not change at all. If anything, because somebody came and left, it actually increases. Because there's another set of experiences that you can add to your collection. So please, try your best to see people as a conduit to align up with this energy of the world and be more of who you are. And sometimes it's great for a short time. And sometimes it lasts a long while and it's beautiful. But nothing is guaranteed. Nothing. Lives are cut short all the time. People fall prey to their own pain and struggle all the time. And you never really know what people are going to unless they let you in. So that takes patience and grace and trust and time for them to want to open up to you, for them to trust you. It doesn't mean that you're not trustworthy if they don't trust you. That's up to them and their healing and their path. It's based on their experiences. It does not take away from who you are. So I hope this helps you guys. For those of you that are nursing a broken heart, for those of you who are struggling a little bit to understand why people ghost you or why you tend to fall prey to a certain type of person all the time, there is a plan. There is a reason you see the same lessons over and over again. Sometimes it's because you need to learn to speak up and stand up for yourself. Sometimes it's because you need to set certain boundaries that you've never set before. It's all about your growth, always about your growth. Ultimately, you are infinite. There is no limitation on you except for what you put on yourself. Society can try, but until you let them, you are limitless. And yes, people are meant to amplify more of who you are. Some people will come into your life and they're dancers and you love to dance. And when you're with them, you love to dance even more and you dance to your heart's content. And some people are singers and maybe you love to sing and you're a bathroom singer. But when they're around, you feel comfortable enough to sing and you just sing at the top of your lungs until they have to leave. And some people, they're artistic. And the way they see the world is just magnificent, and you just can't help but see more and more beauty and color when they're around. And so when they're around, you enjoy and you absorb and you learn more and you pick their brain and maybe work on a project together. And when they go, you still have all of that information within you. In a way, we all take from each other. We're always adding to our self-worth, never taking away, always adding. So I hope this gives you a little bit of comfort on this Tuesday morning here in Singapore, which would be Monday night in other parts of the world. But know that I'm around. Whether you need me or not, I'm around. And if you want, leave me questions, comments, concerns, whatever you want in the comments below, and I will get to you. But until then, till the next episode, y'all. Bye.